Right, we'll see how this goes. I'm filming on a camera I've had a little while. I think I actually bought it pre-COVID, before I started doing the little ride out vlogs. I bought this little action cam, I think for about 60 quid, because it came, you could plug a microphone in it and all that lot. You didn't have to buy all the GoPro kit. Well, I ended up buying a second-hand GoPro as well. Now this is supposedly filming in 1080 HD 60 frames, and I don't know what the audio is like or anything like that. I won't know till I look at it, but fingers crossed we're going to go ahead with it. Now I've got no idea what the field of view is or anything like that, but if it's anything like the other GoPro, you should be able to see the bench. I've cleaned the bench. Yes, it is clean. I'm wearing a face mask because I had my tooth out the other day, and there was a large abscess under it, and it's still draining, so I'm trying to keep the cold out of it. Because I'm in the achy face, fuck off and die stage, basically. So I've got the face mask on. It probably won't be on all the time. It's just because it's got the window open behind you. You can probably hear the beautiful bird song. And I've got my flat cap on. Why not? Got a beverage in my new Mimoso mug. Oh god, cover yourself up. But the reason why the bench is clear is that there is a new project in the shed. New motorcycle. Probably doesn't come as a surprise to some of you, but I've actually had this motorcycle. It's probably 2 or 3 years. It's probably actually pre-COVID. Now it's, if you thought of an 80s motorcycle, there's probably only a few that have come up, like a generic, the Labrador of 80s motorcycles, basically. We've got a CB 750. And on that note, it's in bits. No surprise. Like every other project I've got is in bits. Anyway, we're moving and shaking on Pinky. I've started cleaning a few parts up and what have you. So I've done that off camera because I find the prep work is boring. I certainly don't want to show other people it. So the prep work started. I need to wash and clean the loom and stuff like that, only because it's got road grime on it. But it gives me a chance to inspect all the connectors and stuff like that, drop a little bit of 3-in-1 oil down them, and they'll never corrode again. The corrosion on Pinky is mainly the frame and the front of the engine. So once we get that sorted, we've got to get some pennies together to get the engine blasted and the frame blasted, and I'm probably going to paint the frame, try and get the paint code, correct paint codes, because she wants the engine silver, which is fair enough, it should be silver. I think Steve said it was Honda Cloud silver. I'm not sure. He knows more than I do, which is not difficult. So I suppose I'd better show you some parts from the new bike then. Why ain't this fucking turning off? Yeah, still don't know how to work this thing, so fantastic editing as usual. That was the window behind you shutting. I've got no idea whether anything's in frame. Anyway, the entire bike is at my feet. Wheels, tyres, engine, the lot. So I suppose it's time I showed it. What did you think? You know I'm a penniless oik, you know, I'm not Ronald Finger or that Craig Jones bloke who gets, I don't know, £12,000 a month in Patreons. Yeah, he doesn't. So, yeah, it's a Tamiya 1/6 scale. Used to go for a lot of money. But I bought this in, and I'm sure it was an Amazon sale, or it was an offer on eBay. I think it was an Amazon sale, and it was up for 50 quid. And I knew they went for more because some of the 112 scale bikes that Tamiya do, Christ, some of them can be 30-40 quid, and they're very intricate and very good. So I suppose we better have a look at it then, haven't we? Now, I have already took some of the parts out of the bag, and I've took some of the parts off the sprue, and I've already gone, ooh, because it's the law. Now, I don't know what you can see. I'm just going to move you there. So hopefully, there we go. Let's put that down there for me to trip up later. But to give you an idea of what the finish scale is going to be, that's the size of the tyre against my ginormous shovel hands. They're not, I've got them like a medium hand. So that's the size of the tyre. As you can see in there, there's the light lenses, metally bits, I take it there, stanchions and stuff like that. I've got no idea. Springs, yeah, side stand. I think some of these parts are metal. Oh, 2 instruction books. I've already used one to mix some paint on and shit. Because, like I say, I've had it a while, and I used to do a lot of modelling in the winter when I couldn't or didn't want to get out on the bike. It was too dodgy, or it was slow at work. I had nothing to do, and you know what it's like. You can only sit on a computer for so long, and I don't watch daytime TV because it's fucking suicidal. You know, apart from daydreams of Holly Willoughby sitting on my face. But other than that, change the sprocket, all this lot. I'm going to pre-paint a lot of this before it gets assembled, because sometimes when they're assembled they're just shake. You know, they're a bit fiddly. There's the bodywork, that gives you some idea. There's the tail cowl, look. It's going to be a big old Tonka thing, I reckon. That'll be about that big when it's done. So, actually the paint finish, the actual paint, the colour of the plastic, they've kind of done it like a starburst red. It is like sort of glittery. So I might not even paint it, the bodywork. Ooh, decal sheet. There we go, we've got a nice British registration as well. With Tamiya, you usually get like a Japanese registration. That's good. Obviously I'm keeping all the protective sheets and everything on it. I mean, the idea is, you know, I will start it. So if you want to see the start of the build, or you want to watch me build it, I'll film it. Just let me know. Or you can just call me a sad twat. There's the engine, all chromium. Give you an idea, there's the side of the carburettor, and there's my finger. So it's a fair whack old size. I mean, do you think with a scale like this, that wouldn't it be great if you could put the pistons in and the camshafts in and stuff like that? Because believe it or not, apart from being you know, water cooled, I'm not sure whether these were, but no, these weren't water cooled, were they? The assembly procedure for this is very similar to the CB4. Very similar. CB4 is just a baby version of this with sexy siding. So yeah, some bits there. There's the clocks, the levers. I don't know why I'm describing what parts are to other motorcyclists, but there you go. So yeah, it's a hell of a size. But I know these go for a lot more than 50 squidage. I think you were talking. I mean, years ago you were talking 100 quid for one of these, and I know they only made a few different models. I know they did the CB750. I think they did a Katana. I don't know. You'll probably find them online. You'll certainly find them on eBay, because people tend to buy these as investment kits. Forget they've got them and sell them. What we've got here. Alright. That's the frame. That's the size of the frame. So, you know, with the front wheel, yeah, it's going to be a fair size. So yeah, a couple of other little bits in here. Headstock, I mean that's the size of the headstock. So they'll have metal shafts and stuff in. Apparently the suspension works. You know, there's internal springs in the forks, I think. There's certainly springs. The rear shocks certainly work, or they appear to. Exhaust system. It better be less of a twat to fit than that ZZR 1100. Jesus! Do you know what? I'm still mad at myself over that. Because I went down the thought route of the ZZR 1100 oil lines. Do you know what? I could have had that bike running fucking weeks ago. I'm annoyed at myself. But you know what it's like? You get on a thought pattern, you stick with it. And even more annoying, I already had the bits. Right. So, that's it. A 1/8 scale Tamiya, whose detail is always fantastic, regardless of whether it's one of those aerial planes, a car, a bike kit, whatever. They're all really good. Even like the 1/12 scale bikes are brilliant. The Ducati 916. I've got a Virago 1000. I tend to try and find the kit that has the rider with it, because he's like a hippie, like an easy rider type of dude. And it makes a good kit, because if you're into your modelling and stuff like that, you can make like bed rolls up for the back seat and stuff like that. So it looks like he's going gumping. You know, it looks like he's having a better fucking life than what you are. So that's it. That's the new bike announcement. So yeah, pulled the wool a little bit there, you know. But I'm looking forward to getting starting building it. If I do film it, I'll probably sort of film it in stages, like do the frame one episode, build up the engine another episode, lose 300 subscribers by the third episode, and stuff like that. But I secretly know you're all a lot like me. You're all a bit nerdy, we're all a bit different, and we all secretly never grew up. Certainly no secret with me, as Mrs. Shed will attain to. You know, when I'm down at Oxfordshire Mansion, apparently it's like having another child. Can't argue with it. Anyway, that's what I wanted to show you. So that's today's little intro video, and then I'll catch up with you all later, because I'm starting to put Nibbler back together, put the fairing on. I've got an uprated headlight bulb and all that to stick in, but I just need to tidy that shed up a little bit so I can actually get to the thing. So I was just doing a little bit of that. So I'm going to crack on with that, and I'll see you guys in the next episodic episode. Thanks for being there, thanks for supporting, thanks for all the great comments and stuff like that. And it seems to be, between a few of us, we're getting some good engagement. Oh God, I sound like a fucking counsellor. Anyway, crack on. We've got a nice little community, and I'd like to say hello to one of my friends who secretly watches and made the mistake of admitting it the other day. So hello to Kettle Rob. You'd all like Kettle Rob. Well, some of you will like Kettle Rob. I don't know about the rest of you, but put it this way: Kettle Rob comes up with conundrums, rhetorical questions and all this lot, and some of them come so far out of left field they're practically coming all the way out of right field. Now, you know me, you know my sense of humour. My attitude towards humour is nothing is sacrosanct, nothing is sacred. If you can take the piss out of it, you take the piss out of it. Death, sexual preference, colour of your skin, whatever. If you can get a joke out of it, and you know somebody's got the good humour to take it in the way it's meant, stuff like that, crack on, because you know you'll get it back, you know. And one of Rob's rhetorical questions the other day, and he's called Kettle Rob for a reason, is, and he just came out with it. So bear in mind, I'm sitting there having my sandwich, you know, chilled, and then he goes, and you know when he's going to speak, because he gets a bit excited. So it's like, blurt it out, and it's, do you think? Rape and murder carries a bigger sentence than murder and rape. This is what I have to deal with on a daily basis. Cherish your workmates, because if you get good ones, it makes the job 100% easier. See you later. I don't know if I've turned that fucking thing off. Why ain't this turning off? Fuck's sake. Well, that experiment sort of worked and it sort of didn't. I've just watched the footage back from the other camera, and I think the other camera will be fine for sort of bigger shots in the shed, ride out, something like that. But for the close-up shit like this, I don't think it doesn't work. The field of view is completely wrong. It's too close on my fucking ugly mug for a start. So I know that the GoPro shows the bench. Or at least I fucking hope it does. So let's take the lid off. I'll give you another look. Let me just hold you into my gentler caressing hands. So this is basically it. That's the size of the box, look. Two of my enormous hands. Let's have a flick through the old Manuel. Now usually with Tamiya, in fact nearly all model kits, you get a decent history of it as well. And as you can see, the history is in fucking Japanese, so bollocks. I wonder if it's in English in this one, because they do give you 2 books. Oh look, Jim, English. And the German. So there's your history of the bike as well. So we'll have a look. Not bad. Pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, it's nice. And I like how they include actual photographs of the part, how it should look when you've done it. Because sometimes drawings, they are hard to decipher. So yeah, well, that's enough of that. We know the instructions are good. So there we go. That's either side of the swing arm. That's the frame. Frame's a fair size lot. Obviously this headstock section goes at the front. Let's get the orientation half right. What we're looking at there then? That, perhaps? Yeah. Something like that. So yeah, so I just thought I'd give you a proper good look in my box. There's the forks sanctions. I don't know how much light's reflecting off this, but the forks, yeah, you can happily say length of my finger. They look like Comstar wheels, don't they? Oh, it's a blast from the past. But like I say, there's the size of the tyre, look. And they're good detail. They've actually got the all the size details and stuff moulded on as well. I think the side stand might be plastic. I think this is the sorry, not plastic, metal, because there's the rest of the metal parts are in here, and the fitting screws, nuts, all like the seat base, handlebars, main stand. Like I said in the other video, why am I describing parts to other motorcyclists? So yeah, I think the engine's lovely. Even got the engine number stamped on it. So for all of you that want to fake a logbook, oh, I never said that. Carber tinkles, exhaust collets, whatever you want to call them. Frame caps, I'm guessing. Yeah, it's lovely. It's really nice. Spark plugs are moulded into the head. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Then over here we've got the carb inlet rubbers. These look like calipers. Cheney sprockets. That's headstock. Bodywork. Lovely. So there you go.
hope that was a bit clearer. At least I know how to turn this one off.